Peace and welcome, everyone. So, today we're talking about something, well, it's highly common, totally natural, but honestly, it can be incredibly frustrating. It's that unspoken, unwelcome guest that practically every woman will deal with at some point. Our bodies are this perfectly designed trust and amana, and understanding exactly how they work is absolutely the first step to true wellness. So, in today's explainer, we're completely breaking down the mystery of the vaginal yeast infection. We'll use some science, a little bit of lighthearted humor to make it all a lot less awkward, and most importantly, we're going to cover practical steps that you can actually use right away. Okay, let's dive into this. Because look, if you're tuning into this, there's a pretty good chance you, or maybe someone you know, is currently losing their mind over a sudden onset of unbearable itching and discomfort. It is literally maddening. But here is the viral truth you need to hear right now. When that panic sets in, so many of those quick fix internet remedies people try to use, like harsh soaps or those bizarre DIY kitchen sink tricks, they actually make this nightmare infinitely worse. You are effectively throwing gasoline on a microscopic fire. But hey, before you feel embarrassed or feel like you're completely isolated in this, I want you to really think about this number. 3 out of 4. Yep, studies show that 75% of all women will have at least one yeast infection in their lifetime. And honestly, more than half of those women will have more than one episode. So you are absolutely not alone here. It's really important to know that this is not a sign of bad hygiene. Not at all. It is simply a sign that you are a human being with a highly complex, very dynamic biological system. Section 1. The annoying itch mystery. So, the classic signs, they are pretty hard to ignore. We're talking about intense, drive-you-crazy itching, a burning sensation, especially when using the restroom or during intimacy, and noticeable redness and swelling around the area. But the signature clue, that's the discharge. It's typically thick, white, and it often has a texture a bit like cottage cheese. Now listen closely because this is absolutely crucial. A standard yeast infection does not have a strong odor. If there is a foul, fishy smell, we are dealing with a completely different mystery. Section 2. Who is the real culprit? Now, what's really interesting about this is this fungus, it's not some foreign invader that you caught from a dirty towel or somewhere else. Nope. Candida albicans is an intruder that is actually already inside you right now. It normally lives right there in the body in very small, perfectly peaceful amounts, just chilling out right next door to your good bacteria. It is a completely normal part of your natural flora. Think of it like a giant internal real estate battle. In a perfectly healthy state, your good bacteria, which are basically your body's natural defense force, they keep the yeast population strictly in check. Everyone stays on their side of the fence, and everything is perfectly balanced. But the moment that balance is disrupted, the yeast multiplies like wildfire. So, what causes this disruption? Well, it could be the prolonged use of antibiotics, which, they kind of indiscriminately wipe out all your good bacteria. It could be a suppressed immune system, uncontrolled diabetes, high stress, or, get this, even just sitting around in damp workout clothes. Suddenly, the yeast has absolutely no competition, and it just takes over the whole neighborhood. Section 3. Guaranteed treatment options. The good news is this is highly treatable. For most women, the first line of defense is incredibly accessible. Your local pharmacy carries some highly effective over-the-counter options. We're looking at things like 3 to 7 day creams, suppositories, or tablets. You'll want to look for active ingredients like clotrimazole or miconazole. These are fantastic, safe treatments for mild infections. They go straight to the source to cool down that awful irritation and wipe out the overgrowth while your body does the work to heal itself. Now, if the over-the-counter methods just aren't cutting it, or if you decide to consult your doctor right away, they might prescribe a really powerful single-dose pill called fluconazole. It's incredibly convenient, basically a one-and-done deal. But it's worth noting that for about 8% of women, these infections actually become recurrent. And by recurrent, we mean suffering from more than 4 episodes a year. Ugh, right? In those really frustrating cases, your healthcare provider will likely sit down and map out a much longer course of treatment to truly reset your internal system. Section 4. 5 ways to prevent recurrence. Let's move to and see how this builds, because prevention is way better than a cure. Picture this. You just crushed a really great workout. You're sweating, you feel amazing, but if you just sit around doing chores in those damp leggings, you are basically throwing a massive welcome party for yeast. Remember, damp, warm environments are exactly where Candida thrives. So step 2 is totally non-negotiable. Remove those damp clothes immediately. Step 3, hop in the shower and change into clean, breathable cotton underwear. Oh, and here is a brilliant, totally free tip. If you can, sun dry your underwear. It sounds old school, but natural UV rays are literally phenomenal at killing off lingering fungal spores. All right, here are your remaining golden rules of prevention. Number 1, please avoid unprescribed antibiotics. They are the absolute ultimate killers of your good bacteria. Only take them when a doctor says you absolutely must. Number 2, ditch the heavily scented sprays and washes. They completely mess up your natural pH. Number 3, limit the sugary foods. Yeast literally feeds on sugar, so please do not feed the monster. Number 4, and this is a massive one, guys, never ever douche. Your body already has a perfectly designed self-cleaning system. Don't mess with it. And finally, number 5, support your internal army by adding natural probiotics like some delicious plain Greek yogurt to your everyday diet. Section 5, when to visit the doctor. And this brilliantly illustrates why you have to pay close attention, because welcome to the danger zone. Consider this comparison here. If your discharge is green, yellowish, or maybe gray, or if it carries a really strong foul odor, you are extremely likely not dealing with a yeast infection. You might actually have bacterial vaginosis. And here's the kicker. If you try to treat a bacterial infection with over-the-counter yeast medication, you can actively make your symptoms so much worse. Also, if you happen to be pregnant, or if this is your very first time ever experiencing these symptoms, please do not play guessing games with your health. Go see your doctor. Section 6, accurate examination and diagnosis. If you do go to the clinic, here's exactly what to expect. To get the right diagnosis, your doctor will likely perform what's called a high vaginal swab, or an HVS test. I know it sounds a little intimidating, but it is a very quick, practically painless procedure. They just use a speculum to gently widen the passage and use a tiny little swab to collect a sample. It literally takes just seconds. That sample then goes to the lab, and in 2 to 3 days, you get definitive scientific proof of exactly what is causing your symptoms, whether it's yeast, bacteria, or something else entirely. Guessing is a gamble, guys. Getting the right diagnosis is the absolute key to finding a permanent cure. Which brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. Are you treating your body with the natural balance it truly deserves? We so often think we need these harsh soaps, unprescribed antibiotics, and extreme chemical measures just to be healthy. But the truth is, our bodies are brilliant, perfectly balanced ecosystems, given to us as a trust. Protect your good bacteria, wear that breathable cotton, skip the excess sugar, and never ever be afraid to seek out professional medical care when things feel out of sync. You deserve to feel comfortable, healthy, and balanced every single day. So keep learning, keep listening to your body, and we will see you in the next explainer.